turned out okay. It was a great week, and we had a great travel day yesterday with the team, and last night was a lot of fun with hanging out with all my teammates and everyone who's associated with the team. And today was nice to kind of stretch our legs out and get some fresh air and play some golf, and actually play golf in not a 100-degree temperature, which was nice. And so I didn't have to change any shirts, which was great. The golf course was very much on par with what Jim has been describing, and it's going to be not exactly set up like it was at Hazeltine. It's a little bit tighter. There's quite a bit of rough, and the greens are extremely deep. Some of the greens are 50s. I think one of them is like 58 yards deep. So very different setup, and it's going to be it's going to be a fun event for us.
Indeed, sir. We'll go straight into questions on mic 1, please.
Yes, Tiger. Janovin from French TV TF1. Honestly, could you imagine to be there only 3 weeks ago in France?
I was trying to make the team, this year. I was going to be here either way at the beginning of the year because Jim asked me to be vice captain, and to have now earned my way onto the team, to have not only the vice captains but all the players who want me on the team because I was picked. That means a lot to me. I feel like I've played well enough, but I still have gotten the nod from our captain, vice captain, and as well as the players. And so it just felt it feels great to be part of this team. This is a pretty young team, but also a team that has played quite a few Ryder Cups and Presidents Cups as well. So they've been through it.
Going to go mic 3, sorry, on your left, Tiger. Ian.
Tiger, at any stage in your career, has your game ever suffered from trying too hard? And if so, is there any chance of that potentially happening this week?
Honestly, the only time you guys probably know the story. I've told you, a number of times is in 2006 at the Masters. I tried way too hard and tried to do it for the wrong reasons. My dad was dying, and I knew that would be his last event he'd ever watch me play, and I tried to win it for him. And I tried too hard in that back nine, missed a bunch of putts, and ultimately lost the event. And then I had a talk with him, post Masters, and he basically chewed me out for, I thought I taught you to play this game for your own happiness and for yourself and for your own joy. This is what I've taught you your entire life. And he was right. And, lo and behold, I go ahead and win the Open Championship, a couple months later. So that's the only time I've ever gone outside of the window and tried too hard, just because of the circumstances of what was going on at the time.
And mic 1, Karen, please.
Tiger, on Sunday, one of your friends, Phil Gordon, tweeted that last year you told him that you just wanted the young guys to feel the heat of playing the back nine with you in the lead one more time. Why? Why was that important?
Well, they had, a lot of these guys were, the younger guys were on their way in when I was on my way out. And, they had never really played against me, when I was playing well. I mean, it's been, 5 years since I won a golf tournament. And a lot of the players were just coming onto the scene, whether there's JT, Jordan, now Bryson, Brooksy was just getting out here, getting started, coming off of the European tour. So a lot of these guys just, hadn't played against me yet. And I think that when my game is there, I feel like I've always been a tough person to beat. and they've been jokingly saying that we want to go against you. All right, here you go. And we had a run at it, and it was a blast because I had to beat Rory head up in the final group. Rosie was tied with Rory, and obviously I had a 3-shot cush, which is awfully nice, but still, I hadn't done it in 5 years, and these guys had both ascended to #1 players in the world. They've won major championships. They've won golf tournaments all around the world, and I haven't really played a whole lot of golf in the last few years.
Mike 4, Ewan, please.
Tiger, have you...
Sorry.
Right in the middle.
Yep.
Did you celebrate Sunday night at all, or did you not have a chance to do that, or did you not want to? And also, have you been aware of the scale of the reaction to your victory, which even by your standards has been incredible kind of the world over?
The last part of your question, the scale, no, I really haven't, because I'm trying to return, the text messages I've gotten, but I'm still well north of 150, so it's going to take me a little bit of time before I answer all that. I really haven't looked online and read any articles about it yet, because after I finished, I had a big media tour I had to do there at Eastlake, and then as soon as we left there, we went to the Renaissance Hotel to all meet together, and we had a big signing that we normally do, and got that all out of the way, and then we hopped on a flight, and next thing you know, we're here training and then playing a practice round. So no, I really haven't had a lot of time to soak it in. I will post Ryder Cup. I'll take a look back and I'll reflect on it. I haven't seen any videos of. I saw a couple of them on some French news channel that the people rushing behind me, but I really haven't sat down and watched it yet. I still have this event to do, but post Ryder Cup it'll be a different story. I'll look back at it and I'll soak it up and really reflect on what really transpired that entire week.
Going to go Mike 3 on the left, Bob.
Tiger, I don't know if anybody in the media has said thank you, but for all of us that earn our living in the golf business, a big thank you for what you did Sunday.
Thanks, Bob. It's there's been a lot of you who have supported me, through a lot of the years, and many have doubted that I'd play golf again and win again. So I want to say thank you to all the people that have supported me.
And on your far right, Tiger, Mike 2, Phil.
Tiger, there are some incredible statistics surrounding your career, but one of them this week that's relevant is being on one winning Ryder Cup team in 7 appearances. Is that something that bothers you, and if so, how much? Yeah,
it certainly is something that looking back on my entire Ryder Cup career, that's not something that I really enjoy and I really like seeing. I've played a lot of the matches. Of those 7 previous Ryder Cups, I've sat out one session, and that was the last session at Medina. Otherwise, I've played every single match, and we haven't done well. The year that we won in 2008, I had reconstruction knee surgery after the U.S. Open, so I didn't play. And I was a vice captain, in 2016, but it's different being a player. It was neat to be part of the team, be part of helping the guys in any way I possibly could to make them feel comfortable, to get them into the right circumstances, to allow them to play their best golf. This is, as a player, it's different because you focus, as a player, you focus on your playing partner you're playing with and just go earning a point. As a vice captain, there's so many moving parts that you're in charge of. And so that was very different in 16, but my overall Ryder Cup record, not having won as a player since 1999, is something that hopefully we can change. And we haven't won as a U.S. squad here in 25 years on foreign soil. So hopefully that will change this week as well.
Make 4, Brian.
Tiger, you mentioned that 1993, the last win here. Obviously, there's various reasons, but if you were to put it down to maybe 1 or 2 reasons as to why you think the U.S. hasn't won here in that long a period, what would it be?
Well, I think the best way to describe it, I remember being a part of some of the President's Cup teams that Jack had captained, and he says it's plain and simple: who wins the 18th hole? And those were the matches that swing. You know, if you're one up, or say if you're one up, you lose last hole, go to even, or you win the last hole and you get a point. I mean, these little half points to point swings are enormous over the course of an entire cup. And the teams that we've been a part of in the President's Cup wins that at least I've been a part of, we've handled the 18th hole well. And in the Ryder Cup, we haven't. The blowouts that we've either have received in the Ryder Cup, we didn't play the 18th hole well. And in the blowouts that we've had in the President's Cups where we've blown the internationals out, it's because we've won the 18th hole. And so the matches are generally very tight, and who plays the last hole well usually determines the cup.
Make 3 at the front, Mark.
Tiger, I wonder, could you describe the dynamic of the first hole, the whole atmosphere at a Ryder Cup? And do you remember the first tee shot you did hit, I believe, 97? And what do you make of the massive gala? What do you think it's going to be like that with that grandstand out there this week?
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, it's going to be it's an awesome environment. Because when we had, I'm sure you were there in Wales. It was, for some reason, I don't know what it was acoustically, but they were so close together that it was reverberating, and it was so loud. And we could hear it on the putting green, which was right next to the first tee. But when we got on that first tee, I mean, you could actually feel it, and that was fun to be a part of. I loved it, and I think this week will be exactly like that. But I think the decibels will be up a little higher. My first Ryder Cup, I remember going out with Mark O'Meara, and I was telling him, well, he was the vet, so he says, the way the golf course sets up, you should tee off the odds. And I said, well, I kind of like the evens. And he said, because at the time we were playing foursomes first. And he said, no, the odds are good for you, and the way it sets up for us. No, I like evens. He said, why do you want evens? Because you have to hit the first tee shot. And I said, no. Then he says, no, you're hitting the first tee shot. He's the vet. So I listened, and I hit a 2-iron. I trapped it down there in the fairway. It's like, whew, that's all good. And Davis was a part of that team as well. And he went through a very similar experience with Tom Kite in, what was it, 93. Feeling the same thing, going to the first tee, he was telling Tom, hey, why don't you hit the first tee shot? So there's a lot of nerves, and it's excitement. I mean, it really is. It's something that we don't get to experience in that regard, because it's the final round of a tournament on the very first hole, and every match you teed up, and it's a different atmosphere, and one that we absolutely love.
Far right, Tiger. Make 1, please, Jeff.
Tiger, you've played a lot of foursomes matches. It's a different game with a different rhythm. What could you describe how you've evolved with your comfort level there, and to you, what's the importance of the golf ball there? How important is that? Yeah,
it is very different now than when it was when I first started playing the cups, because initially it was the old 1-ball rule. And so a lot of times you were paired up with guys that played the same exact ball. So we didn't have to make that many adjustments. Now it's more of basically the player. And we have so many damn different devices that can check golf balls and how they fly that you can figure out how the golf ball's flying, what are the distances, and all these different things, and make those adjustments. You know, before it was just, okay, well, you played that ball, you played that ball, you guys are going out together. Yeah, but we never see each other throughout the entire year. But you guys play the same ball, and go ahead and go. But now it's very different, and you know, some of the golf balls spin more than others. You know, I play a very spinny golf ball, whereas others play a ball that doesn't spin as much. So there is some adjustments to be made. You know, the most important thing is who's ever hitting the iron shot into the green. That's the guy. That's the ball you're playing with. Off the tee, because you don't want a player to have to adjust his iron game and the distances he's hitting. And sometimes you got to make an adjustment on par fives, whether you go for it 2 or not. And if the guy's hitting we know you're going to get to a par 5 in 3. Well, if that's the case, then the guy's hitting the wedge shot, obviously hitting the tee shot, so you're going to play that ball.
And the last question's 3, please, Tiger.
Tiger, looking at the like the television viewing figures from Sunday, which are remarkable, like the best of the season, better than a lot of the majors. Are you ready for America to start looking to you again the way that they used to, so soon after you've come back? You seem to have a huge importance there.
Honestly, I didn't see the ratings, so I don't know.
They're huge.
Are they good?
Yeah, they're really good.
Okay.
They're really good. Really good.
Sorry, I've been a little bit busy, so I haven't looked. Yeah, if the ratings are, as you said, huge, especially against football on Sunday, you know, in the States, that's a big deal. And for us to be able to promote golf like that, and for me to experience a scene like we had on 18, the people, you know, running behind us and getting that excited, you know, the art of, you know, I've described this to you guys before, the art of the golf clap is gone. People don't clap because how can you clap when you have a cell phone in your hand? And so people are now screaming, and they're pretty loud, and especially late in the day when it's hot and they've tipped back a few, it gets even louder. And I think this week will be the same, but even louder.
I won't ask for a round of applause, Tiger, but thank you for your time. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
It's actually better than I thought it was going to be.
That's nice. Appreciate it. I mean, shoot, I'm only higher than him in the world ranking right now, so I mean, come on.
Okay, are we still good with the cameras? All good? Let's get going with Bryson then. Bryson, welcome. Obviously your first Ryder Cup. How are you enjoying the week so far?
Oh, it's awesome. No other words to describe it than awesome. Just to be a part of the team and the atmosphere, and it's certainly something special and something that I'll never forget in my lifetime. That's for sure.
And with a name like DeChambeau, how is your French?
Terrible. I'm actually German. Funny enough. Yeah, my last name is Aldrich DeChambeau on the birth certificate, so that's why it's B-A-D, bad. My middle name's James. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for giving me the longest name in the world. So appreciate that. Funny part is I didn't even know I had two last names until I was in high school. I went to register for high school and under DeChambeau, and they were like, "We don't have a DeChambeau," and wherever it was, I had to register, and I was like, "What?" It was right here. And my mom was like, "Oh yeah, about that. You actually have two names." Thanks, appreciate that. Didn't know that for 14 years of my life.
Love it. You got your first look at the golf course today.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
It's great. I mean, it's in great condition. It's a good test of golf, I think. You got to hit it straight, and you got to be very precise with your irons on a few holes. So it's going to be a great test of golf and a great match play course at that. I'm certainly looking forward to the test, and it's going to be fun. The last time I played match play was the U.S. Amateur or Walker Cup in the U.S. Amateur. And that was, I always loved match play, so to be able to get back and play in match play is going to be fun.
Cool, man. I'll take some questions for Bryson. You could raise your hands, we'll get a mic to you. I'm going to start with Bob on mic 4, please.
Bryson, you've made it clear in several of the events earlier that you'd love to play with Tiger this week, but do you get a sense you have competition for that? I mean, are other guys wanting that chance, and why do you think that is?
I don't think it's about any type of competition internally with the team. It's more about what we're going to do to put the 4 best teams out each and every day, and each time we go out. That's what matters most. That's what the captain has talked about, and we're trying to accomplish, and we will accomplish. So, it would be awesome to play with him. Is it going to happen? We're still working on it. We're still trying to figure out who's going to best fit with each other. Not just me personally, but for everyone that's going out that day.
Mic 2, please.
Over here, Bryce.
In the middle.
You were out there with both Tiger and Phil today, walking around. What are the biggest things you're able to take from both of them? Collectively, just having them together with you in a practice round, not having played here before.
Yeah, well, it's nice to have veterans out in the golf course for my first time at least. And Patrick is obviously exploded a couple years ago out here on this scene, and it's just nice to be able to have people that are looking at me going, "Hey, dude, how do you feel?" I'm like, I'm good, and it's nice for them to say, "Hey, in these situations, this may happen or that may happen," and just give me some confidence to know what I can expect, so I'm not unprepared when I get out here come Friday.
Here we go, mic 1 on your right.
Yeah, Tiger was just telling us about in the foursomes the use of the balls and how you work that out. You guys have
foursomes alternate shot,
sorry,
right?
Alternate shot.
Okay.
And the
sorry, I always foursomes four. I always get that mixed up. Sorry.
You guys have been seen switching balls and trying, how have you worked that out? Is that something that you were doing in preparation for this week potentially? And what do you think of his analytical approach to golf compared with yours? Do you think you would suit each other?
Quack, quack. Sorry, we got a quack, quack up here.
It's my Tiger timer.
It's the Tiger timer. All right. What about me? Come on.
You're a special man too.
No, I'm just kidding. Testing golf balls, yeah, I think that's something that's critical when we're playing. It's 4-ball, right? 4 foursomes. Foursomes. Gosh, see, I always get those mixed up. Alternate shot. Thank you. It's just easier for me. Alternate shot. It's key because we want to be comfortable. Each player needs to be comfortable with the ball that they're playing. And so, yeah, a lot of the players on the team have started hitting other balls, and and started experimenting with what they can and can't do in regards to, oh, this ball is just not going to work for me, or, oh, I can play with this ball. And so for compatibility reasons, I think that's one of the most important things out there in regards to alternate shot. It is the most important.
And Mike 2 in the center.
Bryson, with the Ryder Cup Team Europe, got a lot of rookies on it. What would you expect, and who of the guys from the Team Europe you know especially best from the US or from the days before?
Quite honestly, I mean, I played a lot of American golf, college golf growing up, and John Rahm is obviously the big name that I played a little bit of college golf with him, but not much. We played in the U.S. Amateur together a few times, and that was really it. But John is a great player, and it's going to be fun. Maybe going up against him in singles, you never know. That'd be a fun little go, if you would say. I hope that answered your question.
And Mike 3, Mark.
Hey, Bryson, what is your anticipation of the first tee on Friday? It's
a lot of yelling.
Yeah, and I don't know if you are generally a guy that has butterflies or is nervous on the first tee for a regular event, but I just wondered what you think this will be like versus that. And the other thing is, what's your impression of the size of that grandstand behind one?
Well, this is my first Ryder Cup, so I don't have anything to reference it off of. But other than Hazeltine 2016, and that was huge. I was up in the stands, and it was pretty big as well. But, Hazeltine, you had a lot. It was more on top of you, in a sense, where here it's a little pushed back. And so it's a little different, but there's going to be more people here. So I don't necessarily know what to expect come Friday, but I know that if my game is on, I'll be a little nervous, but I'll be comfortable. I'll be able to perform and execute.
And Mike 1 on your right.
Bryson, there was a lot of focus in the video of you feeling serious frustration on the range at Carnoustie during the Open. What do you remember of that? And then since then, have you kind of tried to work on how you would maybe temper your emotions if things do get a bit hot out there this week?
Yeah, well, again, you got to understand that me, that's not anything out of the ordinary for me. People brought that up as a huge deal and a huge situation, but they just caught me at a vulnerable time, and it was unfortunate that I do that all the time back at home because I'm trying to figure things out and I'm trying to go through it, and yeah, I'm going to get frustrated. Yeah, there's going to be some fire there. That's a good thing. I don't ever want that to go away. That's what makes me who I am and makes me a better person because of it. In the end, it may look terrible to some people, but that's their opinion. And that fire is what brought me here and makes me who I am today. And so as I look back on that, that's a moment that actually allowed me to be better for the future, because it allowed me to say, look, I can't keep doing this. It's not working. Let's keep trying to figure out what I can do. And when I'm down and frustrated, I'm thinking about what else can I do to make myself better? How can I get this golf ball to be consistent off the face? And so in those moments, that's what makes me good. When I get frustrated on the golf course, sometimes you don't see it because I'm trying to be professional, and I have to be professional, right? But there's a lot of fire in there, and it can frustrate me at times, but it also can motivate me. And it motivates me most of the time in a very positive way. It fires me up in a good way, and that's why I think I'll be good for the Ryder Cup team. I think it'll be fun to see how that plays out.
Mike 3, please, eventually, Dave.
Thanks. Curious what the game was today between the four of you, and also your thoughts on Phil's play today versus what we saw at East Lake, where I think he was probably looking ahead to here more than anything after a while.
First question again.
Yeah, just the game you guys may have played today.
Yeah. We really were planning on doing something, but we just wanted to see the golf course and get comfortable with it today. So nothing much on that. There wasn't, but there was a fun little, I think, $5 bet of Phil getting up and down in a crazy situation on 16, the par 3, and surprisingly he didn't get up and down, but he had a great chip shot. That was it.
Where was he?
Oh, he was left of the green above the first bunker on that side slope, and he was like in an awkward position and Just didn't get up. No, it was fun though.
Shocking. Well, how was his play overall?
You know, it's getting better. I know he's working really hard on his long game, and he's. I think by come Friday he'll have it. He'll have it and be ready to go. So I'm sure he's really frustrated that he didn't play well last week, and that's why he's working hard this week to get it ready for Friday.
Could we go Jean-François?
What is your opinion about the setup of the golf course, please?
The setup of the golf course. Well, I think that there's a lot of unique holes out there where if you are aggressive, it is rewarding, but there's a few instances where it's not rewarding, where you do just have to iron off the tee. And if you hit iron off the tee, it's more going to be a second shot golf course. And that's where, for me, it's a big benefit. I hit my irons really, really well. And so I think it's going to be a benefit for all the guys out here that can hit their iron shots well. And in regards to some of the course setup, you know, for example, moving up tee boxes or whatnot, I think there's a couple holes that they could potentially move the tees up, which could make for a couple interesting plays and early in the match. You know, and I feel like if you get up early in the match, that's going to be critical because you've got some interesting holes coming down the stretch where, you know, if you don't hit one good shot, that could cost you the hole and cost you momentum, and it could just unravel. So getting up in the match early is going to be key, I think, this year.
We're going to finish on mic 1 with 2 questions, Bryson. Whichever one of you gentlemen wants to go first. Let's not argue.
Bryson, there's a lot of friendships between the two sides. You know, obviously, you know a lot of the European guys from the tour. How do you expect that dynamic to play out on the course?
There will be none. It's USA against Europe out here. We're going to try and do our absolute best to get the cup back.
Jeff.
Bryson, you talk about
Keep the
channeling.
cup. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Get the cup back from this side. You know what I mean? That's what I meant. You know what I meant. Come on, Phil. It's not your press conference yet. Come on.
He coming on up. Join us.
So you were an amateur 2 years ago.
No, I wasn't. No. See, we all make mistakes.
Did he answer that?
Well, now that Phil's here, he could tackle this one too, maybe. You know, Bryson, you talked about channeling your fire in a positive manner. Patrick Reed's done a real nice job of that in this event. I'm curious to get, for both of you, and you know, Phil playing on a couple teams with him, what's your take on what he brings to this event and what he kind of pulls out of himself?
Bryson, you want to answer that first because you've
For
got to get
Patrick,
going.
right? Yeah, I mean, you know, he brings an incredible fire to the team, I think, and I got to see him hole out that shot a couple years ago, Hazeltine. I forgot what hole, but it was inspirational. It was motivating, and it was just fun to see. You know, and I personally, from a selfish standpoint, on that end, made it a point that I want to be a part of a team like that and have that fire as well. You know, and so I'm here now, and, you know, I do want to have that fire in a positive way to help benefit the team potentially.
Bryson, thank you very much. Mr. Mickelson, welcome.
Thank you.
Bryson, you gotta get going.
I'm
You can
done.
never stop. You're done. I'm trying
All
to
right.
kick you out nicely, man.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.
Good to see you. Thank you. How's it going, guys? The coffee here is unbelievable, isn't it? It's so good.
That's a big compliment coming from you.
The chocolate, the food, just
I'm just gonna let you talk, man. Go.
yeah. Michael, you know what I'm talking about. It's great food, isn't it? No. I had 2 pieces of bread last night. I can't remember last time I did that.
You just slept through Tiger's conference. Anyway, Phil, great to see you.
Thank you.
Playing your 12th Ryder Cup, I believe.
You would think that that you would get kind of desensitized to it, but in the reality, as my career has gone on, I've come to love and appreciate and cherish these weeks and being a part of the team even more. And this week especially, with the amount of not just talented players but quality guys that are on our team, being with them has been so special and fun, and to be part of this team with them, along with one of my longtime lifelong friends, Captain Furyk, and many of the guys that are our vice captains. It's just been a really special week so far, and I'm very appreciative to be a part of it.
Thank you, Phil. We're going to start on mic 3, please.
Hey, Phil. Obviously, the European side is going to set the golf course up the way they want it to be. It's obviously very different than Hazeltine. Can you talk a little bit about what you saw out there today, and do you feel like that's an advantage for Europe, or how do you think it plays in for you guys this week?
I think it's an incredible golf course. I think the consensus amongst all players is that it's a wonderful test of golf. The setup is as good as it could possibly be. It's just in pristine, immaculate shape, and yet provides a very good challenge. That's a fair challenge. I think it's a wonderful test. And at Hazeltine, you saw a lot of birdies. You saw a lot of aggressive play, and I think you'll see less aggressiveness, more conservative tee to green. But once you get on the greens, they're a little bit flatter, and you can really make putts here. You can be aggressive from 20 to 40 feet. I think you're going to see a lot of putts made, and that'll be most likely the difference.
I'm going to go to mic 4, Phil, on your left.
Yeah, Phil, with all the work you've put in to try to get things going in the right direction for this team, with a chance to end the road losing drought or the road losing streak, I mean, do you think this week in particular has a chance to be one of your crowning achievements in your career?
I would not look at it that way, because this is a team event, and this is a event for all of us to cherish and to be a part of, and every person, from the players to the caddies to the spouses to the captains and vice captains, every player plays an integral piece of the puzzle to do well and to succeed. But because I've played in these events for so long and have never won over here, it would be one of the moments I would cherish the most if we were able to come out on top. We have a quality team. We have great leadership. We have every opportunity to succeed, but we have to perform. We still have to go out and play some great golf to achieve that. But if we were to do that, it would be something I would remember and cherish the rest of my life.
I'm going to go mic 1 at the front, please.
Thanks. Phil, when you look at the relationship you now have with Tiger and how much friendlier you two have become, how much do you trace that back to the last Ryder Cup and the sort of shared experiences you guys had from, being on the task force all the way up through the event itself?
I think that's a big part of it. I think that when we started to really work together to succeed in the Ryder Cup, going back even 4 years ago, and then at Hazeltine and last year at the President's Cup, those team events where we've worked together has I think we both realized we have a lot more in common than we thought, and I think we both have really come to appreciate working together to achieve things, and I've really enjoyed my time with him. He's just, it's really been fun. Just a lot of little things, We just, the way we go about things, the way we look at things, our work ethic and so forth. I think the way we look at details, I think our mind works a lot more similarly than we might have thought. And working together has been not just special, but it's been really fun.
Stay on the right for mic 2, please.
Yeah. You won in Mexico this year, and all the fans are going nuts. Tiger won, on Sunday. The people went crazy. We got all the young guns like Patrick winning the Masters, Brooks winning the US Open again. Do you think that golf in the world, but especially in America, is at a peak where it's never been before?
It's hard to say. It could very well be the case. I think that what Tiger has done over the course of his career, though, has been remarkable as far as making golf popular and exposing it to so many more people than outside the golf world. And it was evident last week when he won to see the response and the way the people responded to him, and the way the people responded to the game, and the excitement level and the energy that he brings. And he's been playing some remarkable golf. This is the best I think I've ever seen him swing the club, even going back to 2000. And when I thought he was at his best, he's striking it so solidly that nobody was surprised that has played with him that he won. And I think that now that first win is out of the way, I think he's going to start rattling off some more.
Go 3 and then 4, please. Make 3 first.
Phil, going back to you having never won over here, for you, certainly all the matches are different, but what's the toughest part or most difficult challenge when it comes to playing these matches on the road?
There's been some things in the past that it's hard to articulate, but I think the people here are very respectful and have been great to us. I think that the crowds, as much as they might be biased or partisan, have treated us great over the decades, and I don't think that that's been a part of our lack of success by any means, even though it's more challenging. But we've never had an issue where it has affected our performance, and we just need to come here ready to play. And I think the FedEx Cup is a big asset for us. I think it's a big asset for the U.S. players because in the past we've had 6 weeks off in between our last competition and the Ryder Cup. And this year, although we might be tired, we might have a little long stretch, our games are much sharper because of our consistent play week in and week out heading into this event.
I've just got time for 2 more. 4 and then 2, please.
Phil, you spoke about your... Phil, over here.
Jason in the middle.
Phil, you spoke about your relationship with Tiger. You spoke about how well he's playing right now. It's been 14 years since you two were partners in a Ryder Cup. If Jim came to you this week and said he wants to get the band back together, what would your reaction be?
I think we would both welcome it. I think we'd both welcome it.
Any feeling on whether that might happen?
I do have an idea of what Captain Furyk is thinking. Yeah.
Tim, make 2.
Phil, could you give us a back here?
The bald man at the back, Tim Rosafort.
Got it. There you
See
are.
old man
What a
in the back?
good-looking lad you are.
Thank you, sir.
Shining brightly in the back.
Why would it be different if you and Tiger were paired now versus 04? And the follow-up is, how many more Ryder Cup teams do you have as a goal to make and compete on?
So, look, when we go over like little details as to why we were or weren't successful, when I talk about it openly and try to share like insight, sometimes it comes across as though I'm taking like I'm trying to take a shot at somebody, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not going to go into that anymore. But the bottom line is going to be preparation. And when we can eliminate the variables, eliminate the uncertainties, it eliminates the pressure. So the more questions we have answered well before the Ryder Cup, the more prepared we are, and the more time we have to prepare our games the week of the Ryder Cup. And so that's probably the best way to answer it. In the long run, I'd say we'd be more prepared, most likely. Would be kind of the general answer. But I don't want to, if I answer that, it just never comes across like if I try to share insight as to why things went well or things didn't go well, it always comes across as though I'm taking a shot at somebody, and I don't want to do that anymore.
I'm just going to go. Are you sure? Just going to go last question on mic 3, Phil.
Go ahead.
So, question. With
Go ahead,
how
Pat.
well he's positioning the golf club and swinging, are you nervous during Thanksgiving, or you're going to have to kind of...
Yeah, I was talking about him today.
Change
Tiger striped it again today. He didn't hardly. I think he missed one fairway for the round, and I'm trying to negotiate a shot aside. It didn't go over very well in the initial our discussions, but I'm still working on it. We've got some negotiating to do, given how well he played last week.
Okay, you two want to swap positions?
Mark, did you have a...
Go on, Mark.
Sorry, hand go. Okay, cool. Dave, you good?
I just was curious what you're working on. I know you probably weren't very happy with last week, but also probably thinking you might have taken.
Yeah, I didn't. The last 2 weeks have been the 2 worst putting weeks of the year for me. So I'm going to spend more time with the putter. But it's Tuesday. We have 2 more practice rounds, so I don't want to put too much time into it. I'm not trying to get fine-tuned. I'm just trying to get posture and the basic fundamentals, alignment, and all that stuff matched up for the swing. And so I still have a little bit of work to do. I didn't strike it the way I wanted to, but the last 2 weeks were the worst putting weeks of the year. And given how well I've putted all year, hopefully I should be able to turn that around.
Karen, sorry, you had one. Phil, if you don't mind.
Phil, you can't count on how many more of these you'll be at as a player. Do you find yourself soaking up everything more than you have in other cups?
I've always appreciated and cherished every minute of these weeks, so I wouldn't say that I'm cherishing it anymore. I am aware of the fact that this is most likely my last one on European soil and my last opportunity to be part of a team that would be victorious here, and that would mean a lot to me personally. I think it'd mean a lot to our team and to the United States Ryder Cup to have a victory on foreign soil. It's been 25 years, but it's a very difficult task. We've got European team is extremely talented with some great young players and great experience and great leadership. And although I love our team and I love our players and I love our leadership, it's going to be a very difficult match for both sides. I think it's going to be close and something that if we were able to come out on top, it would be something I'd cherish the rest of my life.
Phil, thank you as always.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
What's that?
Yeah? All right. You just ask yourself questions, maybe. I don't know. Mr. Reid, welcome to the Ryder Cup.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Looking forward to it, are you?
Can't wait.
Give us your thoughts, Patrick, on being here. I look at the golf course today. Obviously, you've played here before, but how's it shaping up out there? How's it looking?
It's awesome to be here, and the golf course is absolutely perfect. It's in perfect shape. Fairways are nice and narrow, rough's really thick, so it's going to be one of those golf courses that it's going to take premium on ball striking in all aspects of the game, because you're going to get a couple of bad bounces here and there. You're going to end up in some spots you're not supposed to, and it's going to all come down to who can manage their game the best, who can handle mentally the bad breaks as well as the good breaks to go out and succeed and play well.
And I would imagine a grandstand with 7,000 people in it gets you going.
Only 7? Why couldn't y'all get any more? I mean, when I first saw that, going to that first tee, and I look up, I just felt like I kept on looking up, and up. I mean, it was so many people that are going to be sitting in there, and it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere. The first tee is going to be just so much fun, and I can't wait to hear all the little cheers and just little quirky things that they can do and say, because it's always fun coming overseas and hearing all just the little playful jabs and playful chants that they have going on.
Good man. Take some questions. We'll start on mic 1. Jeff.
Patrick, 2 questions for you. The first would be, do you feel like a different guy when you get on the grounds here?
No, not really. I'd say the biggest difference on feeling-wise is not only are you playing for your country, but you have 11 other teammates and captains and assistant captains and a group there to help you out. Normal week, tournament week, you walk in and you go to the golf course and it's just you, your caddy, and coach. That's about it. And now you have a bunch of guys kind of hang out with and just have some fun with and let loose, especially early on in the week.
And then when you hear Phil talk about a 25-year streak where the U.S. hadn't won in Europe, how big a motivator is that for the younger guys?
I feel like it's a huge one, because the young guys don't want to have to go through what the old guys did and have it 25 years. I mean, we want to go out and play some really good golf and get more competitive overseas. It's kind of one of those things that we want to go in and put our foot down and go out and play some good golf, kind of like we did in 16, and try to win the cup and take the cup back home.
Going to stay on the right for mic 2, please.
Patrick, you mentioned the playfulness of the fans. Do you expect it to be a bit hostile as well? And is there anything that the fans could do that would get under your skin, or is that just fuel to your fire?
I mean, there's really nothing that really get underneath my skin, that's for sure. But in 14, with how the fans were on the first tee, just the the bantering back and forth and the chants, I thought were very clever and very fun, because they know that line of respect, where that line of respect happens, and they always are above that line. They never actually cross it and get disrespectful, and that's one thing I cherish when I come overseas, is they know how to give jabs and take shots at you back and forth, and they do it in a respectful way. And I think that that just speaks the volume of the type of people and what kind of sports fans and passion that they have for sports. And it's just a place I've always loved to come, and I'm still trying to come up with something that I get to do, and kind of keep my years going for 3 in a row, and see if I can get booed again.
Mic 4 in the middle left. Middle left.
Patrick, right here. I think the way that you and Jordan started your Ryder Cup careers, many of us probably expected you guys to be penciled in as partners until you're 50. I'm just curious the status of that partnership, and if you'd welcome changing up your dance card.
It's going to come down to what Captain thinks and what we all think is best for the team. But it's just going to really all depend on what we think are the best people we can put out and best teams we can put out, since some guys are going to sit at some point, and who we feel like can go out and get us the most points possible.
Over to the right to mic 2, please.
Patrick, I'm wondering, at what age in your life did you grasp, I'm really good at match play?
I've played a couple junior events that I seem to play really well in, but I feel like the biggest thing would have been in college, to go up against, I went against Chesson Hadley, Peter Uline twice, Harris English, and I went 6-0 in match play for the 2 years at Augusta State, and won the matches comfortably as well. And at that point, I knew that I already knew I felt like I was pretty good at match play, but at that point I was like, match play is fun.
I'm going to go mic 3, Karen.
Patrick, last week at the Tour Championship, it seemed as if there were more fans following you shouting Captain America than Masters champ. And I was wondering what that is like for you, and just what does it feel like to have that moniker?
It's awesome. I feel like the fans, especially back home, they're just trying to get me in that mindset and get ready to go out and get ready for Ryder Cup, being Captain America, and go out and play it. But, it's a good problem to have people either saying Captain America or Masters champion. Before I only had one of them, and now to have both of them, it feels great. But, this week I'm definitely Captain America.
Number 4, Tim, on your left.
Patrick, part of the theme of this Ryder Cup is that Europe has 5 rookies. You obviously played tremendously well as a rookie. How were you able to do that?
I think the biggest thing was, for me personally, I felt like I had something to prove. To be a rookie and kind of get on the team, and especially with how I played in college and match play, I felt like I had to come out and prove to myself that I needed to go out and play well, and win my matches, and just to validate that mindset that I had, and what I did in college was how I felt as a match play player coming into the Ryder Cup, that I belonged here. I belonged to play well, not just to be on the team, and I felt like that was the biggest thing for me.
Go mic 1, middle right.
Patrick, Bryson was in here a little while ago talking about his excitement to play in a tournament where it's acceptable to show the kind of fire that he wishes he could show more often, and he cited your play. Is this a discussion you've had with him at all?
Yeah, the biggest thing, with the guys, especially, when I was talking with Bryson and stuff, is, we're going out there, and, you can get excited. It's the one week that you can show your emotions, show it on your sleeve. I mean, every guy who goes out and plays, whether it's at this event, any golf tournament we play, we all have a bunch of emotion. It's just some guys wear it on the sleeves, some guys bottle it up. Well, this is the one week that you can actually show the passion you have for the game of golf, passion you have for your country, and passion you have for your other teammates to go out and play the best you can. And if you go and you make a putt and you're really excited, show it. If you go and you miss a putt and you're not too thrilled, show it, but do it in the right way, And I think that's the biggest thing is this is the one week that we're allowed to let loose and show our emotions and have fun and play golf.
Going to go Mike 2 on the right, please.
You mentioned your match play. What specifically do you think that you picked up on that you think makes you so successful at match play? And also, you talked about kind of banter with fans and fans booing you. I mean, what is it about you think that you kind of enjoy that? That puts a fire in you. A lot of guys don't, they kind of go the other way if the fans are against them. Why do you seem to thrive on that?
I think the biggest thing is because I know it's playfulness. They're not booing me. Like in 14, they didn't boo me because of anything that was disrespectful or because they didn't like me. It's just because Henrik, their guy, makes a putt and, the crowd goes nuts. And then when I made the putt, I told them to shush, just quiet down. The match is only 6 holes in, and we're only all square. And I think that, I think that elevated 2014, the rest of that round. Because as the round went on, the crowds got louder and louder. And, different chants came out. And as I'd walk up towards the green, if he was inside me, you'd just hear shh as I'm walking up because the whole fans are doing it to me. And, what I loved about it is about a month later, I came back and I played in the Volvo match play. And when I got there were at least 100 or 200 fans that were just following me religiously throughout the week, and the entire time they're cheering me on, and they really enjoyed me coming back and playing. And I felt like that's something that they really understand with me with how they are with football over here and with how passionate they get on their team and stuff. I think they saw some of that passion that I have for the game of golf, and they respect that. And it's just something fun that to be able to come over and relish being, especially overseas. I mean, coming overseas, Captain America, I'm supposed to be the villain. Just like when Ian Poulter comes to the States, he's the villain, and so you expect to hear the fans kind of go back and forth with you. If it's not happening, that probably means you're not playing very well, and they're just like, all right, we got him in check. So, I love it when we can interact with fans and get going because, there's no other event you can do that at. I think the biggest thing is it's a head-to-head battle. It's throw 2 guys in the ring, and then now it's throw 2 guys on the golf course, and whoever plays the best is the one walking out of it. And, there's so many different things that come into factor when it's a stroke play event. Depending on what time your tee time is, what wave you're on, how the weather is when you're playing compared to when the other guy's playing. And in match play, it's you're on the same hole in the same group in every condition the other guy is, and it's just go out and see who can play the best golf.
Mark, Mike 3, please.
Hey, Patrick. You mentioned the massive grandstand out there at 1. I just wonder what you remember of your first tee shot in 14, and what do you make of the whole dynamic of that first tee shot?
So I would say that was in 14. That was the worst tee shot I've hit in both my Ryder Cups throughout the entire tournaments. It's a 3-wood at Glen Eagles. It's a 3-wood pitching wedge, if pitching wedge. And I go and I step up on the tee, and all of a sudden I get there, and my adrenaline is just through the roof. And I look around, and I feel like all the air has just gotten sucked out of the room when they announced us to hit. And yes, I skied it. I skied the 3-wood. I hit the fairway, though. I was 1 for 1. Hit the fairway. Those guys are having 9-iron and pitching wedge and green. I hit 3-iron. Ended up paring the hole, halved the hole with the guys, which is good. But there's nothing like the first tee at a Ryder Cup. You step up on that first tee, and just the thoughts that go through your mind that, hey, I'm here representing my country. All these people are here. I mean, millions of people are watching back home, and just the juices that are flowing through you is just through the roof. And it's one of those moments you'll never really get to feel, and to be able to do it, you know, in 14, 16, and now this year, it's just it's an awesome feeling. I can't wait to get that whole entire grandstands filled up and see how, you know, what that dynamic is like, having that many people around first tee.
And we're just going to have 2 more. Tim on 4, please.
Patrick, more to that point, you and Rory were so high on adrenaline in that match. Did it even surprise you that you could be that amped up and play golf to that level?
I didn't think I could ever get that amped up. I was so through the roof that during warm-ups, you know, that's one great thing with Tiger being the assistant captain. He's watching me warm up, and he's just like, he needs to calm down. He needs to chill out, because I mean, I was overswinging. I was hitting the ball sideways. I was just like, let's go, you know. I mean, and he just kind of finally pulled me over the side, came up to me in the middle of the thing, and he just cracked a little joke to me to kind of calm me down a little bit, and kind of I was able to bring that adrenaline level back to manageable, rather than just literally sitting there on, you know, high rev. And you know, it's something that was hard to, you know, make sure you stayed in that mind frame and also in that level that you could play. Because, I mean, you get so amped up, it's hard. It's hard to figure out how far you're going to hit the golf ball. But at the same time, you know, if you're so even keeled on the other direction, it's hard to get yourself up to get going. I mean, you only have 18 holes, and you know, the good thing is I've been able to manage that really well. And you know, luckily I was able to have Tiger there to kind of help me out there on Sunday. And you know, once that match was over against Rory, I think there was a sigh of relief, not only to win the match, but also, you know, Rory and I, just the amount of energy physically but mentally that we put out on that 18 holes. You know, it was, we were glad that, well, I was glad that it ended the way it did, but I think we both were glad that, you know, we were able to go out and play the great golf that we did, and able to show the passion we had for, you know, each side's team, each side's country, and go out and play the golf we did to finish off the year.
And we're just going to finish up on mic 2, please, Ewan.
Patrick, you'd mentioned the 2 villains on either side of the team there. How much would you relish getting Ian Poulter? Is that the match you want most?
It would always be great playing Pultz, but you know, just kind of looking at the guys on the team, with how stacked each team is from top to bottom on the U.S. side and the European side. I mean, I'll take any of the guys. I mean, all of them are playing some great golf, and you know, I've always been the type that I want to go up against their best guy, and so on Sunday I want to go up against whoever's playing the best that week. I love that challenge. I love to go out and you know, go out and play their guy. And you know, the first year it was Stenson, and you know, last year it was Rory. And so it's just one of those things that I enjoy going out and playing the guys that are playing the best. But you know, the great thing I feel like with both squads this year is it doesn't matter if you're the guy who got in on points as number 1, or if you're the last pick of the captain. It does not matter. I mean, any one of those guys, they play the golf they're capable of, they're going to be hard to beat no matter what.
Patrick, many thanks.
Thanks.
Good luck this week.
Thanks.
Not too much.